Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Doong TV. In this episode, I'm spending some time with the new VB WRX. I want to show you why this is possibly the best WRX Subaru has ever made.
Oh shit!
Now this WRX belongs to one of my subscribers, one of the followers, hit me up and offered to let me spend some time with the new WRX. The first time I saw one of these was at the official launch a bit over a year ago. At the time, my feelings were a little bit mixed. And since then, the looks and everything has kind of grown on me. I reckon it looks pretty cool. You know, and this to me is a prime example of do not listen to the internet. And it's the same thing that's happened to all of the previous WRXs. When they first came out, even the VA chassis, a lot of people criticize it on the internet. And now it's the most popular one. And I think that this is going to be that as well. First, we'll talk about the styling. Then we'll talk about the engine, the power output, and then we'll go into the interior. We'll go for some drives as well. Let's get into it. So the owner of this car picked it up in October of 2022 and it's very clean. It's got 5,800 Ks on it. Now, if you notice the styling pack here, it's such a nice touch to the car. The black, the white, and the pink. It looks really good. A lot of people at the moment who have bought that styling package, they're complaining because there's a huge shortage of that styling pack. Some people have to wait up to 6 months before they can get their styling pack. The owner of this one waited 6 months. The final piece of the puzzle just came last week, and that was this boot spoiler. What does the styling pack include? Well, it includes the boot spoiler, includes the rear spats, and the rear diffuser. I reckon this rear diffuser looks really, really cool. When I first saw it, I was under the impression that you could pull out the rear diffuser, but no, it's static. I reckon if you could modify this and make this a little bit lower, that would look pretty hectic as well. These rear spats, they're a nice extension and a nice accentuation to the body lines because the car is so angular. Anything else added onto it just looks really good. The skirts, oh my God, I love it. Right, the stock skirts are already pretty wide, but the extra styling skirt makes it look even better. And then of course it comes with that front lip. And the elephant in the room, the thing that everyone's talking about the most are these fender arches. I'm still not the biggest fan of these fender arches, but the more I look at it, honestly, the less I care. And apparently the honeycomb pattern, don't know if you can see, but apparently the honeycomb pattern on this allows for some aerodynamic advantages and efficiency. And as all the journalists would say, you know, you wouldn't believe it until Subaru tells you. At the back, these vents are fake, but at the front, these vents are fully functional and they're pretty cool. You know, already a lot of people on the internet are painting the black accents on the car, and I reckon as soon as that becomes more readily available to the public, it's gonna look really, really cool. These headlights I reckon look really nice. When it's got the daytime running lights, it looks really hectic. The owner here has opted for a different front grille. It's got the front camera. The previous VA chassis did come with a front camera as well, but not until the 18 Plus. And that really is all there is to the exterior styling, you know. And I reckon the more I look at this and the more you see on the road, the more people will warm up to it. And really, it looks really nice on the road. The owner has changed the exhaust system and has gone off with the NVIDIA Q300 catback. It's a brand new car, so I'm guessing he doesn't want to void the warranty by changing out the J-pipe, and he's got the catback. And I'll tell you what, the catback actually sounds pretty good with the newer 2.4 litre engine. Sounds so good for just the Q300 catback. That looks really good. It's very deep. It has an equal length headers, so it doesn't have that boxer rumble, but it sounds really nice and deep. Right, with the VA chassis, if you just had the Q300 catback, you wouldn't be able to hear anything because it's such a small displacement engine. But with this, because it's a 2.4, it actually sounds pretty good. You know, and the owner of this car does have children, so you know the R400 is out of the question. One of my favorite features are the tail lights. Got some magma flow or whatever. It looks so cool. It looks like it's got a whole bunch of red crystals on the inside, and when it illuminates, God, it looks really nice. And I reckon the back of the car, the more I look at it, especially with the STI styling kit, man, it looks really nice. These mirrors still have the blind spot monitor and the blind spot camera. This one is the RS model. It's manual, it's got a sunroof. One thing that's come standard since the 2018 WRX is these flaps for the roof racks. If you open this up, there are fixed mounting points underneath for the roof racks. Unlike mine, they covered the fixed mounting points with the roof moldings, and I had to drill through my moldings to get to the fixed mounting points. All right, now let's have a look at the inside. I quite like the interior. Now straight away, the thing that catches your eye is this touchscreen. Really nice. It's high definition, very functional, but it's unfortunate that they have the climate controls in the screen. These seats are so comfortable. They're half suede and half leather on the outside. In the middle, oh, it's so nice. It's very, very grippy and it's very comfortable. You've got the WRX embossed in the headrest, in the red with the red stitching. Even the passenger seats have electric control. In my car, the driver's side has electric control. The passenger side is all manual control. One thing I noticed though is that there is a tray or some room for what looks like the DCCD system. And really, is that Subaru telling us that there could be an STI coming? I don't know. It's really nice in here. Very premium. In the door cards, there's some carbon fiber overlays there. You know, very comfortable, very premium, very modern. Right, let's have a look at the driver's seat. Oh, what's that? There's a driver monitoring system. Scans the driver's eyes. That's really cool. I wonder what that's all about. We're on the driver's side, same deal with the seat. Very nice. Very comfortable. The steering wheel, it's a nice D-shaped steering wheel. Gotta love a D-shaped steering wheel that comes from the factory. It is a manual. That shift knob has been through all the generations of the WRX. This gearbox feels a lot better than the previous WRX because the VA chassis WRX gearbox was trash. One thing I wish Subaru would do is add all of their adaptive controls and all of the tech into their manuals. A lot of brands like Hyundai and all that stuff were able to figure it out, but Subaru haven't. These air vents, really nice. They look very premium. Honestly, it doesn't look like a Subaru. In terms of ergonomic, or even that knob feels very sturdy. In my car, it just feels like it's gonna break. Such a huge step up from the VA chassis. There's even lumbar support for the driver's seat. This does come with the Harman Kardon sound system, which is good to see. The only problem is the amp, and there's probably gonna be issues if you want to change out the head unit. The driving position is really nice. And if I move this down to my seating position, I honestly feel a lot more comfortable in this than I do in my WRX. And I don't know if that's the seat itself or the actual seating position, but it feels, it's very comfortable. It's very nice. Honestly, I'm quite jealous. I'd love to own one of these. Biggest interior points in this car over mine is the seats. The seats in this are definitely worlds apart from mine. So much more comfortable. There's so much more padding. For a driver, it's a really nice place to be in. In the VA WRX and in the VA chassis, it feels like there's a lot of room around here, but here it feels like it's a nice and tight cockpit. Seems like they did quite a lot to the gearbox as well, because those throws feel so much notchier and so much shorter. Can't wait to take this out and see what it's like to drive. It's a really nice place to be in as a passenger. I feel like I've got a lot more leg room than I do in my VA chassis. The seats are a lot more softer. There seems to be a lot more padding in these seats than there are in the VA chassis. And the transmission tunnel isn't absurdly high, so you can probably fit an adult in the middle. These, oh my God, what a godsend. What a huge improvement from the previous WRX. You got ventilated seats and you've got 2 charging ports at the back. That's really nice. Such a nice place to be in compared to the VA chassis. All right, we'll move on to the engine bay, and it looks very familiar because it's the same FA architecture, same placements of the intercooler, the turbo, the pipes and all that stuff. It's just a larger displacement. Apparently this is a much better engine and a much better drivetrain than the previous Rexy. And just from the short drive that I've been on already, I don't disagree. So much smoother, and the suspension is really, really nice. You have the stock location of the factory airbox, which is the same for every FA. Turbo is all the way down there, so the airbox will be piped down there to the turbo. It'll come up through the top mount intercooler here and then into the engine. The owners opted for a wheel guard, which I reckon looks pretty nice. Pretty standard for warranty purposes. The owner has opted for a GFB blow-off valve of some sort, and it's very entertaining. It's a great engine, great drivetrain, very smooth. Nothing else much to say. Power figures, whatever, 200 kilowatts, I think, 350 newtons from the factory. Supposedly, this is a much better engine to be driving. There's a lot of room underneath the intercooler, so I'm guessing there could be a lot of room for improvement, quite literally, to go for a larger intercooler core. And one thing I really appreciate about Subarus is the addition of these gas struts. I reckon every car should have that from the factory. They've also changed these guards from foam to plastic, so it's probably going to be a little bit louder in the engine bay, not by much, and it's better for heat dissipation than compared to the foam stuff in my car as well, in the VA chassis. All right, and inside with the car on, It's a really nice place to be. Again, these climate controls, not the biggest fan of the climate controls, but you know, it's got heated seats. Oh, that's a huge proportion of the seat that's being heated. I don't think it's got cooled seats, but I reckon that's good enough. There is, well, underneath we've got some charging ports. We've also got aux. Gearbox feels so much nicer than my car, and I haven't even started driving this yet. Yeah, overall interior, nice place to be. The gauge cluster looks really nice as well. Glad to see that they've kept the analog gauges and didn't go full digital. I quite like that digital bit in the middle. Yeah, there's a boost gauge there in the middle. Now, overall, really nice place to be. Let's go for a drive. The seating position is so nice, man. Oh, the clutch is so much nicer as well. Oh my God, dude, this clutch is so much lighter. It's so much nicer than the VA WRX. Oh, dude, what's with the indicator, man? I can't hit it down all the way.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying, man.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to actually.
Oh wow, dude, the clutch is so much smoother. How is this a factory clutch? It's like stepping on a pillow. And no, first driving impressions, it's very nice, it's very compliant. As a daily driver, it's so comfortable, very acceptable. It's very easy to rev match as well. Dude, I love it, I'm so jealous. Dude, I'm so used to stomping on the clutch. It's like when I step on your clutch, pressing it pedal to the metal. I reckon I'm gonna stall as soon as I get back into my car. This is so much lighter, dude. And the gearbox is such a huge change. It's so much smoother. The throws are a lot shorter as well. The power delivery is very smooth, man. And from the factory, like as a factory package, the engine, the drivetrain, the tuning, and just the way the power is delivered is so much better than the stock package from the VA. Pretty sure the STI is a lot better than the VA Rexy, but as a stock package, like for like, this is so much better. The tuning's, like they've done pretty well with the tuning for this one.
2.4.
Yeah.
But the turbo is lower, so it's a 12 psi turbo.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But even for 12 PSI, it's delivering it pretty nicely.
Yeah,
It's doing a
I
really
think
good
so.
job. No, I'm quite jealous, man. They did really well with this, actually. Dude, no, I think this is probably the best Rexy they've ever made in terms of daily driver and usability. I'm gonna push it a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
And it's got perfect placement for heel toe. The pedals are a lot better placed than they are in my car. Because my car, sometimes when I do heel toe, I'll miss it when I do the blip. How do I get rid of that?
Yeah, you just have to touch it slightly. So,
Far
don't let
out.
it click.
Yeah, okay,
don't
got
let
it.
click, yeah.
They did everything so much better in this one. It's a much better daily driver, man. Far out. Inside the cabin, so much more nicely isolated compared to the VA. It's very luxurious. The seats are very comfortable. A lot of adjustment, so much more adjustment than in the VA. And like, I'm comparing this to the VA because a lot of people say that the VA is the best WRX ever made, or you know, the VA is the best generation, whatever. But no, I really think that despite the look of this and despite what the internet said when this first came out, this is definitely the best Rexy they've made. It's the most comfortable Rexy they've made. You know, if you can get over the initial look, I mean, the more I look at this car, the more I like it. You know, when it first came out, I was like, yuck. You know, I was on the bandwagon with everyone on the internet. I'm like, oh, this is yucky. But the more I see this on the road, the more nice it looks.
It's actually nicer in person.
It is,
Pictures, right?
yeah, it is a lot nicer in person. And especially with the STI kit, it looks immaculate. I reckon it looks really, really nice. Yeah, thanks for letting me drive it, bro.
No problem at all, man.
Oh, and they got rid of the rev hang. It definitely feels like a completely new car. Like they've changed so much. The seating position has changed, especially with the seats. I feel like I'm sitting a lot lower. It's so much easier to get off the line with this clutch compared to mine. It's such a nice driving car, guys. I reckon the more I look at it, the more attractive it becomes. Definitely looks a lot better in person. Yeah, thanks to Guy for letting me drive the car. It's really smooth. If you're looking for a new Rexy and you've got 50, 60 Gs, I reckon get one of these over a used Rexy. It's so much more compliant. It's so much more nice. It's so much more smooth. Everything about the car is so much better if you can get over the initial impressions. If you like this video, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. I'd really appreciate your support here on the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.